This jacket, it's a Barbour Wax jacket, and they're a bit of a British classic. You see loads of people here in London wearing them. They're really, I think Barbour really make clothing for outdoor and country pursuits, but they're pretty popular all over the world. They make a great overcoat. They're pretty versatile. However, they're made of cotton, which isn't waterproof, and to make them waterproof, they're then waxed. Being made of natural products, they decay slightly, so you have to service them. But if you look after them, they last years. I mean, this one's over 10 years old. They'll last decades. You can send them back to Barbour, and if you damage them, and they'll patch them up, they start to look, I think they look a little bit better when they're older. They get a bit of character. But anyway, I need to take care of this one. I could have sent it back to Barbour, but I've left it a little late, so I'm going to have to do it myself. So I'm going to head to the barber shop and get a pot of wax, wax this jacket, and then we'll be good for the autumn winter season. And the rain, the rain's coming. The cold is already here. It's getting a little bit chilly. Definitely coat weather, not quite hat, gloves and scarf yet, but yeah. As you can see from the clouds, rain's never too far away. But I'm going to head down here to Westminster Tube. We'll get a tube to Monument, head up to Leadenhall Market where there's a barber store, and I'll get some wax, my wax jacket.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
The next station is Monument. Change for the Central, Northern and Waterloo City Lines and DLR from Bank.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Okay, welcome to Monument in the City of London. I'm going to head up the road to Leadenhall Market and get some wax to rewax this Barbour Wax jacket. But I thought before we run up there, I'll show you where the area station gets its namesake. The Monument to the Great Borough of London. Check it out. The entrance is on the other side, and you can actually climb all the way to the top and you get phenomenal views across the City of London. But that's a story for another day. Let's head up to Leadenhall Market, and hopefully the barber store within the market will have some wax to re-wax my jacket. Let's go. Okay, welcome to Leadenhall Market. Leadenhall Market used to be a market, primarily a meat market for many years, and my great-grandfather was actually a butcher here, and today it's filled with restaurants and bars. You can still see the meat hooks here, or not the meat hooks, the rails that the meat hooks would have hang from back when all these stores were selling meat, and butchers. Get a closer look here. So yeah, all these hooks were the meat hooks. And the meat would have hung through it with a very different smell. It smells amazing today. Today the city is dominated by financial services, so most of the stores in here are mid to high end stores catering to fine folk that work in the city, most of which work in financial services, and obviously restaurants and bars. It's pretty busy today. It's just gone lunchtime, and they're getting the shoes shined. Shoes shined. Right, this is where I need to go. The barber store, and let's see if they've got some wax for my wax jacket. Yeah, if you're in town, Leadenhall Market's a great spot to come for lunch, dinner, or after work drinks. Okay, success. Got the wax to wax the jacket. Now you can actually send these send your jackets back to Barbour, and they'll repair, wax, or service them if you damage them. Just want to service. However, I've left it a bit late. I want to be without it for the first few weeks of autumn and winter, so I'll do it myself. I think this part of Leadenhall Market, Harry Potter fans will be familiar with, because they used it as the location to film one of the movies in. Right, I'm going to head back to Monument, get the tube home, wax my jacket, and then we'll be ready for the autumn-winter season. So, see you guys in a moment.
Last night, I was in the 20,000 turned up. That is where
That's the headline you want to read as soon as you're walking into the tube. Okay, just got back from the barber store with the wax to rewax this jacket. Now I was hoping to do this in daylight, but as you can see, it's got dark already. I had a few things to take care of on the way back, and it's getting dark pretty early here now. It's autumn. It's one of the things I'm going to miss about summer, the long days. But anyway, I want to do this now so we can leave the jacket to dry overnight, and then hopefully I can wear it tomorrow. So let's read the instructions. How to reproof your wax products. You require a pan of hot water and a soft cloth or sponge. Choose a warm room or outside on a hot day. So really I should be doing this in sun. Stand the tin in hot water to soften dressing. Work the dressing well into the garment using the cloth or sponge. Pay attention to seams, creases and dry patches. That's actually where this jacket's beginning to leak a little, around the seams. Rub in well, don't just paint on. For a factory finish, blow evenly with a hairdryer, and then finally hang the garment overnight in a warm place. Okay, I've got together all the gear and no idea. I've got a pan on the hob boiling away so we can melt the wax. Let's open this to see what it looks like. Right, let's get that submerged to about level with the top of the wax and melt that. Okay, I've also got a sponge to apply the wax, just a cleaning sponge, so I'll just use the sponge side, not the abrasive pad side. a soft cloth to remove excess, aka an old tea towel. Don't tell my mum. Hi mum if you're watching. A heat-proof mat to put the saucepan on so I don't burn the table again. And a hairdryer. I knew that would come in handy for a factory finish. So once the wax is melted, I'll start applying it to the jacket. I'll bring you in a little closer and we can time lapse this. Okay, now I'm going to pop it on a hanger and leave it somewhere warm to dry overnight. Okay, morning. As you can see, the sun is just coming up outside. I left the jacket hanging somewhere warm overnight and it looks okay. The seams have got a good covering of wax, so I'm pretty confident it's going to be waterproof once again. I didn't get a completely even covering, so the back's got a little more than the arms, so visually, cosmetically up close, I can notice that, but I don't think anyone else will. I guess if you really want a factory finish, you can send it back to Barbour and they'll make it as close to looking like new as possible. If you're going to do it yourself, I definitely recommend using the hairdryer because it's quite difficult to apply the wax evenly. What the hairdryer does is really melt the wax while it's on the jacket, it allows you to rub it in and distribute it a little more evenly. But all in all, I'm happy with that. I used around half of the pot of wax, so out of that one pot I'm going to get 2 rewaxings. Do the next one next winter, or ideally I guess you want to do it in summer when it's warm rather than in winter when it's cold and dark. So now I'm waterproof once again. We can head outside. I'm wearing old clothes today to go out in this for the first time because I'm pretty confident where I did this myself. There's going to be a little bit of excess wax in places and I'm going to get some of that on my clothes. But I'll let you know. thought it would smell more. It does smell a little waxy, but not too bad.